Hello again. Today I bring you a very short message and it's entitled Discerning the Voice of the Shepherd. We only have to look at the relationship between the shepherd and his sheep to learn so much. When the shepherd calls his sheep, they come running. Whether it's on the mountaintop, whether it's in the fields, when he calls out to the sheep, they hear and they come running. If a stranger should do the same thing, they won't respond. They know the voice of their shepherd. The role of the shepherd is critical in the life of the sheep. When the shepherd sees danger, it will lead the sheep to a safe place. When the shepherd sees predators, it will run the predators out of the arena. It will defend the sheep. When a sheep go astray, the shepherd will run after it. As the children of God, we need to discern the voice of the shepherd. The shepherd loves us. The shepherd cares for us. The shepherd means us well. So this is why we must learn to discern his voice. When he's calling us, when he's directing us, we can learn to be totally dependent on the shepherd's voice. How can we know the shepherd's voice? How can we walk in wisdom? How will we know that this is the pathway that the shepherd would have us walk on? We must know the shepherd. The sheep must know the shepherd's voice. How can we discern the shepherd's voice? It's through his word. When we know the word of God, we will know the voice of the shepherd. It's through the word of God that we learn about the shepherd. The shepherd is our guide. We can depend on him. He's reliable. Everything he says is reliable. Even when what he says doesn't make sense, in obedience, we can go ahead with it knowing that he will lead us in the right way. The shepherd will never lead his sheep into danger. It is a voice that you can completely depend on. In 11 verse 8, Hebrews 11 verse 8, it says that Abraham lived in total dependence on God. He had to hear his voice in every decision he made because he was told certain things, but he didn't have a clue as to how they were going to come to pass. He didn't know where he was going all the time. Every day he lived in dependence on God. It says it there in Hebrews 11 verse 8. God doesn't download everything that we need to know all at once. Look at Genesis verse 32, I believe, where Joseph, prophetically in a dream, he was shown his destiny. He was shown what was to come to pass. And he got excited and he got talking about it, telling people about the dreams and visions that God had given him. But one thing Joseph didn't know was that there was going to be a process that he had to go to before what he saw in the dream would come to pass. Perhaps if he knew the process, he wouldn't have spoken so early. We need discernment to discern what the Lord tells us and how we're to go about it. The Spirit of the Lord is our guide. It is through the Spirit of the Lord that we have guidance, that we have direction on the way that we should go. Isaiah says, there's scripture in Isaiah that says that we will look to our left and our right, and the Spirit of God will say, this is the way that we should go, that we should walk in it. It is through the Spirit of God that we have discernment to go in the right direction. There's so many voices out there calling us. There's so many people who pose as shepherds that could, that we hear all sorts of things every day, not just on social media, outside, everywhere we go. But it's the Spirit of God that will give us discernment. And through time, we learn to discern the voice of the shepherd. The voice of a hireling we will not follow. So this is my message to you today, to discern the voice of the shepherd in everything you do. Wouldn't life be so different if everything we do, everything that we seek to do is spirit-led? It would make a difference. But the good thing is that even when we go in the wrong way, when we find ourselves entangled in what we shouldn't be, when we fall into a pit, the shepherd is so kind, so merciful, full of grace and compassion, that he will come and disentangle us and get us out of the pit we may have fallen into. But by discerning the voice of the shepherd, we don't want to keep on living our lives by error. We want to be led by the Spirit of God. So this is my message for you today. I pray that it blesses you. I pray that we will be totally dependent upon the Spirit of God to understand His ways. The only way we can know what the Spirit of God says is to know and understand and discern the voice of the Spirit. So I'll leave you with that today, and if you would like to hear more messages, check out Heavenly Treasures Ministries, the ministry with the orange heart, on social media. Till I see you again, it's Ruth Dixon from Heavenly Treasures Ministries. God bless. Bye.